Seniors, these 5 popular breakfast foods are secretly aging you faster. Here's what to eat instead. The worst part? You probably think they're healthy. You wake up, pour the coffee, grab the usual yogurt, bread, or cereal. It feels like just another harmless morning habit. What if that familiar breakfast you've trusted for years is quietly draining your energy, dulling your mind, and speeding up signs of aging? That's exactly what happened to Joan. At 65, she felt stiff, foggy, and exhausted by mid-morning, until she swapped out just one breakfast item. Within weeks, she felt lighter, sharper, even younger. Here's what most people don't realize. You don't age from years. You age from bad habits repeated daily. And the foods doing the most damage? They're often labeled heart-healthy, low-fat, or natural. But inside, they trigger inflammation, fatigue, and even brain fog. In just a moment, I'll reveal the 5 worst breakfast offenders and the simple swaps that can help you feel stronger, clearer, and more energized every morning. Keep watching, because once you see what's really on your plate, you'll never look at breakfast the same way again. There's something sacred about the morning, the quiet, the way sunlight filters through the blinds, the smell of coffee brewing. For many of us, breakfast isn't just a meal, it's a ritual, a moment of peace, a soft, warm routine that's followed us through the years. You open the fridge, grab the same little cup you've trusted for decades, peel back the lid, and tell yourself, "This is healthy, this is good for me." But sometimes, comfort has a cost. That creamy fruit yogurt? It feels like a light, gentle way to start the day. It's smooth, it's familiar, it's been sitting on shelves with promises like probiotic, low-fat, and immune support for years. But what if I told you that tiny cup is a master of disguise? What if it's been quietly stirring chaos into your body, spiking your blood sugar, triggering inflammation, and leaving you more tired, not more nourished? We don't question the foods that comfort us. And that's exactly the trap. It's not the bad choices that age us, it's the familiar ones we never question. The industry knows this. They know that as we age, we crave simplicity, familiarity, trust. So they wrap these metabolic landmines in the language of health. They dress a wolf in grandma's sweater, and we invite it in with a spoon. There's a reason you feel energetic for an hour and then crash. Why your joints feel a little stiffer as the weeks go on. Why you've started forgetting where you put your keys or why you walked into the room. It doesn't happen all at once. It builds, quietly, breakfast by breakfast. Because energy, real energy, doesn't come with a burst and then a drop. Real energy feels stable, sustained, soft like the morning light. What do most of us are getting instead? It's an illusion. A chemical trick played by processed sugars, artificial flavorings, and so-called healthy additives designed to spike your taste buds and your insulin. And that's just one of the 5. You've trusted these foods for years. So did I. But what I'm about to show you will change the way you look at your breakfast table forever. Not out of fear, but out of freedom. Because once you see the mask, you get to choose what you let in. You get to reclaim your energy, your brain, your future. So the next time you reach for that colorful cup or that familiar box or bar, pause. Ask yourself, is this energy or illusion? You finish your breakfast, clean up the kitchen, maybe take your vitamins, and sit down to start the day. But before you know it, your eyelids feel heavy. Your body sinks into the chair. There's a strange ache behind your eyes, and it's not even 10 a.m. yet. You tell yourself it's just aging. Maybe you didn't sleep well. Maybe it's the weather. But deep down, you're starting to wonder, why does eating make me feel worse, not better? This is one of the most common yet silent struggles so many older adults face. That slow, creeping fatigue that arrives right after breakfast. The fuzzy thinking, the irritability, the stiffness in your hands or knees that seems to lock in after your first meal. You might even feel guilty about it, because you're eating right, aren't you? You're choosing foods the label says are smart, heart-friendly, low-fat, natural. So why do you feel like your battery drains the minute you try to start your day? You're not lazy, you're not broken, you're not imagining it, you're having a reaction every morning to foods that promise fuel but deliver a withdrawal. Because that burst of energy you feel right after eating that healthy granola bar or fruity yogurt, it's not real. It's not nourishment, it's a spike, a sugar jolt, a fake high followed by a crash that leaves you worse than before. And when the crash comes, your body doesn't just feel tired, it feels betrayed. And betrayal hurts more when it comes from something you trust. The worst part is the confusion. You're doing everything right. You're skipping the donuts. You're avoiding fried foods. You're buying the things marketed to people who care about their health. So when your brain feels foggy after breakfast, or when you suddenly snap at someone you love for no reason, it leaves you asking, what am I doing wrong? But the real question is this: is it energy or is it withdrawal? Imagine giving your body a jolt of something stimulating first thing in the morning, something that revs you up for a little while, but leaves you weaker once it wears off. That's what certain breakfast foods are doing to millions of us every single day. They dress up as health, they act like energy. But the truth? They're depleting you. It's no coincidence you feel best before you eat, and then worse an hour later, or why you need a nap before noon, or why your mood dips and your patience thins. It's the food, not your age, not your willpower, not your personality. The wrong breakfast steals the very strength it promises to give. So let's stop pretending it's normal. Let's stop calling it getting older, because your first meal should lift you, not leave you in a fog. It was supposed to be the smart choice, the little red box that sat on your kitchen shelf, promising fiber, energy, and a heart-healthy start. You poured it into your bowl, added a splash of milk, and felt good about it. You were doing the right thing, or so you thought. But here's what they didn't tell you: that seemingly innocent cereal. It likely contains over 12 grams of sugar per serving, sometimes more than a donut, and that's before you add the milk. What feels like nourishment is actually a metabolic ambush, a spike, a crash, and a wave of inflammation you can't see. But you can feel in your knees, your brain, your mood. This was my first wake-up call. The food I thought gave me life was stealing it. And it didn't stop there. Next, that tall glass of orange juice. It feels bright, refreshing, healthy. But what if I told you it acts more like soda inside your body? A standard glass has as much sugar as a can of cola. No fiber, no balance. Just a straight hit of fructose that floods your liver and sends your blood sugar soaring. You feel a little buzz of energy. And then comes the drop, the irritability, the shakiness, the hunger, again even though you just ate. It's not energy, it's withdrawal, masked as health. Then there's toast, soft, white, perfectly golden. Or maybe a bagel, the kind you used to pick up on Sunday mornings with cream cheese and coffee. Harmless, right? Comforting. But white bread and bagels are ultra-processed starch bombs. They convert to sugar almost immediately in your bloodstream. They're stripped of nutrients. Their glycemic index is sky high, meaning they wreak havoc on your insulin and send your body into fat storage mode, even if you barely eat the rest of the day. And still, these were the staples. The foods we trusted. The betrayal doesn't end there. You know those granola bars labeled nutritious or protein-packed? Look closer. Most are loaded with syrups, cheap oils, and preservatives. They're built for shelf life, not your life. The sugar alcohols and refined grains don't nourish, they confuse your body. You feel wired, then weirdly empty. And the kicker? Many of them contain inflammatory seed oils linked to heart disease and accelerated aging. Finally, we come full circle, back to that smooth little cup of fruit-flavored yogurt. It's the picture of health in the dairy aisle. But most of them contain more sugar than ice cream. Yes, ice cream. That tiny cup that says live cultures on the front? It might be delivering more damage than dessert. Sugar feeds bad gut bacteria. It inflames your system. It weakens your immune defenses over time. And worst of all, it keeps you coming back for more. Each of these foods hides behind a health halo. They've been marketed to us as safe, even essential, and yet they are part of the reason we feel more tired, more achy, more anxious than we should. They cloud our thinking. They slow down our digestion. They accelerate aging not just on the outside, but on the inside, where it counts most. Health halos hide the hungriest lies. This isn't about blame. This is about awakening. About pulling back the curtain on foods that promised healing, but delivered harm. Because once you see the mask, you can finally make a different choice. Like this video and tell us in the comments if you're starting to question what you've been told. If you're ready to choose clarity over confusion, energy over illusion. And here's the hope. There is a way to eat for longevity without giving up pleasure. In the next chapter, I'll show you how. Real food. Real energy. Real healing. Your morning can become medicine. Imagine waking up tomorrow morning, not dragging your feet to the kitchen, not bracing yourself for the crash an hour later, but stepping into your day with clarity, warmth in your joints, and a steady, peaceful kind of energy that lasts. No spikes, no fog, just you, fully present, alive, restored. That's not a fantasy. That's what the right breakfast can actually do, because the truth is, food isn't just fuel, it's information. And when you feed your body the right message, it listens, it heals. You've seen the betrayal, the sugary cereals, the juice that was closer to soda, the bars and breads that wore a mask of health. Now it's time to flip the story, because breakfast doesn't have to age you. It can be the very thing that slows the clock down. It can repair, it can protect. It can even reverse the damage done by years of misinformation and marketing. Let's start simple, with something that feels more like a ritual than a recipe. Picture this, a soft, pudding-like bowl, cool and comforting, topped with vibrant berries that glisten in the morning light. You take a bite, and it's nutty, sweet, earthy, and deeply satisfying. That's chia pudding, but it's more than beautiful. It's medicine. Chia seeds are packed with omega-3s, those same anti-inflammatory fats that help lubricate your joints, protect your brain, and support your heart. They're also high in fiber, which keeps blood sugar steady and digestion smooth. This isn't just food, it's a love letter to your cells. And if you need something warmer, especially on those colder mornings, imagine a golden smoothie, rich with the scent of cinnamon and ginger, touched with turmeric. It's creamy, slightly spicy, and it feels like it hugs you from the inside out. Turmeric isn't just a spice, it's one of the most powerful anti-inflammatory agents nature offers. It's been shown to protect against brain aging, soothe aching joints, and support the immune system. Mix it with unsweetened almond milk, a pinch of black pepper to activate it, and frozen banana for texture, and suddenly, you're not just making a drink, you're building a defense. Now picture cracking open 2 farm-fresh eggs into a skillet, watching the whites curl and firm while the yolks stay golden and runny. Slide them next to a few slices of creamy avocado and maybe a sprinkle of sea salt. You've got protein, healthy fat, satiety, no sugar spike, no crash. Just calm, focused strength. Eggs are one of the most complete sources of protein, and when paired with avocado's heart-healthy fats, they create a breakfast that doesn't just satisfy, it sustains. Or maybe you miss something sweet, something that feels a bit like dessert. That's okay. Because you can have that too, without the damage. Try this. Steel-cut oats, slow-cooked until creamy, infused with a dash of cinnamon and nutmeg, topped with crushed walnuts and a drizzle of raw honey. Oats contain beta-glucan, a fiber that helps lower cholesterol. Cinnamon improves insulin sensitivity. Walnuts nourish the brain. Every ingredient isn't just kind to your taste buds, it's a tool for longevity. And what about what you drink? If juice has been part of your routine for years, this one might feel hard. But swap that orange juice for a warm mug of green tea, or even hot lemon water with a touch of ginger, and you'll feel the difference in just days. Green tea is rich in catechins, powerful antioxidants shown to protect against heart disease and even cognitive decline. It gives you a gentle lift without the crash. Lemon water alkalizes the body, supports liver detox, and wakes up your digestive system. It's simple, it's elegant, and it works. And here's what happens when you begin these new rituals. You start to feel lighter, not just in your body, but in your mind. That fog that used to creep in mid-morning, gone. The stiffness in your hands, reduced. Your mood, more stable. Your skin, brighter. You may even sleep better, focus better, remember things more easily. These aren't exaggerations. These are real changes that happen when you shift from foods that inflame to foods that restore. And just as importantly, your identity begins to shift. You no longer think of yourself as someone who's managing decline. You become someone who's creating resilience. Each bite becomes an act of rebellion against the lie that aging has to mean suffering. Each meal becomes a whisper to your future self. I'm taking care of you. I haven't given up on you. This isn't a restriction, it's restoration. And no, it doesn't mean you'll never have your old favorites again. But when you begin your day with healing instead of harm, you create momentum. You begin to crave the good stuff. Not because someone told you to, but because it feels that much better. The more you experience steady energy, the more your body remembers what balance feels like. And you start to trust yourself again. You're not trapped. You're not stuck. You have options. You have power. So tomorrow morning, I want you to look at your breakfast table and ask, is this helping me age slower or faster? Is it a moment of self-love or just autopilot? And if it's time to choose something new, start small. Try just one change. Swap the juice for lemon water. Try the eggs and avocado instead of toast. See how you feel. Let your body tell you the truth. Because breakfast is no longer just a habit. It's a signal, a message, a choice. And the right breakfast isn't a meal, it's a message to your cells. I want to live longer. Keep watching, because up next I'm going to show you exactly how to make this shift stick, day by day, bite by bite, and why it matters more than ever before. You don't always notice when decline starts. It's not like a siren goes off when your memory slips for the third time this week. There's no blinking red light when you feel winded after climbing the stairs, or when your thoughts take longer to gather. It comes quietly, like fog at sunrise, so slowly that you don't realize how much it's taken until one day you look in the mirror and wonder, when did I start feeling this old? But what if that future doesn't have to be yours? Imagine waking up 5 years from now, not slower, weaker, or more forgetful, but clearer, sharper, stronger. Imagine having more energy at 70 than you did at 60. Imagine remembering names, conversations, dreams, waking up without the stiffness, without the crash, without the silent dread of, what if I'm slipping? That isn't wishful thinking. That's biology, with the right inputs. Because right now, as you listen to this, your body is listening too. Your cells are renewing. Your brain is building or breaking. Your metabolism is adjusting its rhythm. And it all depends on the signals you send it, especially first thing in the morning. Every time you choose breakfast, you're casting a vote, speed up aging, or slow it down. Scientists now know that breakfast isn't just a meal, it's a metabolic switch. What you eat in the first hour of your day can either flood your body with inflammation or begin to clean it out. It can either spike blood sugar, taxing your brain's memory centers, or stabilize your focus and mood for hours. And it affects your telomeres, those fragile caps at the end of your DNA strands that protect your cells from damage. When they shorten, aging accelerates. When they're protected, you age gracefully, with vitality, with memory, with movement. And here's the shocker. Studies now show that breakfasts high in sugar and refined carbs, the kind we've been told are safe, are directly linked to a higher risk of dementia, heart disease, and metabolic disorders. It's not just about calories, it's about chemistry. One study from the Journal of Alzheimer's Disease found that individuals who consumed high-sugar breakfasts had significantly more brain shrinkage and memory decline over time. Another found that blood sugar spikes, especially after a carb-heavy breakfast, are correlated with shorter attention span, slower recall, and increased brain inflammation. And yet millions of us are starting our day this way. And still, so many people say, but it's just breakfast. No, it's your brain, it's your body, it's your future. Breakfast is your brain's first chance to feel safe or under attack. You've made it this far. You've overcome decades of hardship, change, and growth. Your body has carried you. Your mind has adapted. You deserve to thrive in the years ahead, not just survive them. But that means one thing must change. You must stop treating your first meal like an afterthought. It's a doorway, a decision, a declaration of who you want to be 5 years from now. And maybe that version of you is out gardening again. Maybe they're walking without pain, laughing without forgetting the story halfway through, holding a grandchild and knowing their name, their face, their scent. That's the version of you that's possible. That's who's begging you to pay attention today. If you want to reverse the damage, start with tomorrow morning. Start by leaving the sugary cereal in the cupboard. Start by choosing lemon water instead of juice. Start by picking protein over pastry. You don't have to be perfect. But you do have to be intentional. Because every meal builds something, your future, your focus, your freedom. This isn't a diet, it's a rescue mission. And it's urgent. The longer we wait, the deeper the grooves in our biology. But the beauty of the human body is this. It's always ready to respond. Change your breakfast for 7 days and your inflammation drops. Change it for 30 days and your gut resets. Change it for 90 days and your brain begins to restore itself. You are not too late. You are right on time. If you found this helpful, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button. It helps more seniors like you discover life-changing health tips, and it helps us keep creating them for you every day. But most importantly, visit us at thegoldenyearsrx.com. That's TheGoldenyearsrx.com to join our free community of seniors who want to stay strong, independent, and full of life. You don't need another pill. You don't need another label screaming low fat or high protein. You need truth. You need nourishment. And most of all, you need consistency. Because health isn't built in hospitals, it's built in kitchens. And breakfast isn't a throwaway, it's the beginning of everything. Now is the moment to decide, who do you want to be in 5 years? Your future self is watching, and they are begging you to begin. You've walked this far, and you haven't walked alone, even if it sometimes felt like it. You're not the only one who looked at your breakfast table one morning and realized something wasn't right. You're not the only one who asked, why do I feel older than I should? Or who whispered, is there still time to change? The truth is, there are thousands of us waking up to this same quiet awakening, one choice at a time, one meal at a time, and with each decision to feed healing instead of harm, a new kind of community is being born. Not just around food, but around freedom. Because this isn't just about oatmeal versus cereal. This is about taking your mornings back, about turning isolation into connection, and realizing that change doesn't have to be done alone, in silence, behind closed kitchen doors. Imagine a group of people, just like you, starting their day not with shame or confusion, but with strength, with inspiration, with recipes that feel like home and habits that feel like hope. Imagine sharing a healing smoothie recipe with someone halfway across the world and knowing that they are starting their day the same way, that you're both turning back the clock, one breakfast at a time. This is happening, right now. People in their 50s, 60s, 70s, even 80s, who were tired of being tired, who were fed up with the fog, the inflammation, the confusion, who were told it's just part of aging and said no. Not for me, not like this. And instead of waiting for a diagnosis or another disappointing doctor's visit, they started with the simplest thing they could control. What's on their plate at 8 a.m. and the ripple effects? They're staggering. Less joint pain, fewer naps, brighter eyes, easier digestion, sharper memories, calmer moods, all starting not from some expensive protocol or complicated program, but from changing what they reach for when the sun rises, and you don't have to figure it all out by yourself. Join our community for daily inspirations, recipes, and rituals that restore. Be part of something that's bigger than willpower, something that's about reconnection. We share ideas, support, encouragement. We talk about food, yes, but we also talk about family, movement, sleep, faith, joy, and how to age with power instead of fear. Community isn't found in a crowd. It's built in the quiet choices we make, side by side. This isn't a trend, it's a return to how we were meant to live, nourished, supported, energized, awake. When we eat better together, we age better together. So if this message has stirred something in you, if you found yourself nodding quietly as you watched or tearing up because it finally feels like someone sees you, then don't just watch, don't just wish. Join us today for free and take the first bite of your longer life. You were never meant to do this alone, and now you don't have to. This might feel like the end of a conversation, but it's really just the beginning. If your mornings look different after today, even in the smallest way, then a revolution has already begun inside you. Because now you see the mask. You've lifted the curtain on foods that were quietly aging you and discovered that something as simple as a chia bowl or a cup of green tea can rewrite the script of your next decade. And the question now is, what comes next? If you've made it this far, I already know something about you. You care. Not just about how you feel today, but how you'll feel tomorrow. You care about remembering names, moving freely, laughing fully. You care about being there for the people you love, not just present, but vibrant. You're not just surviving retirement, you're rewriting it. If you care about the next 20 years of your life more than the last 20, hit the bell button because there's more to learn, more healing ahead, more myths to bust and more truth to reclaim. Next, we're diving into the foods you should never combine at breakfast. It's a mistake almost everyone makes, and it might be why even healthy meals are leaving you drained. You won't want to miss it. Healing doesn't begin with medicine. It begins with breakfast. You've already taken the hardest step, awareness. Now let's build on that together, one video at a time, one simple change at a time. You're not just a viewer, you're a pioneer in your own life. You're part of something that's growing, something that's turning back the clock, meal by meal. And it all starts with one click. You've come a long way in just one video. From confusion to clarity. From, why am I so tired? To, what if I could feel strong again? And now maybe for the first time in a long time, you're starting to believe something different. It's not too late. You've walked through the fog of misinformation, peeled back the layers of marketing, and stood face to face with the truth. The food you trusted was aging you, but now you know what to reach for. You know that breakfast can be the beginning of healing, the beginning of power, the beginning of you returning to yourself. And that shift? It stays with you. It lingers. Because now when you stand in the kitchen, you see choices differently. That juice carton doesn't sparkle the way it used to. That cereal box doesn't whisper health anymore. Instead, you see clearly. You feel awake. You pause and ask, is this energy, or is it withdrawal? And something beautiful happens next. You start choosing joy. You start choosing strength. Not out of guilt or fear, but out of love. Love for your future self. Love for the version of you that wakes up with a lightness in your legs, a sharpness in your thoughts, a steadiness in your heartbeat. That version of you is no longer a dream. It's a direction, a decision, a declaration. You are someone who chooses healing, and that choice changes everything. That choice echoes through your mornings, through the way you move, through the conversations you have, through the calm that replaces chaos. It becomes your identity, not because someone told you what to do, but because you felt the change and you never want to go back. So close your eyes for a moment and imagine tomorrow, waking up rested, breathing deep, feeling your body say thank you before you've even had your first bite. Hearing the kettle whistle, slicing into an avocado, stirring something nourishing, not because you have to, but because you want to. That's your new normal now. That's the aftershock of choosing well, and it only grows stronger with time. The food you eat in the morning becomes the energy you feel at night. It becomes the clarity in your mind, the ease in your joints, the joy in your voice when someone asks, "You look different. What changed?" Here's you, standing in the quiet power of someone who didn't just learn the truth, but lived it. If you found this helpful, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button. It helps more seniors like you discover life-changing health tips, and it helps us keep creating them for you every day. But most importantly, visit us at thegoldenyearsrx.com. That's THEGOLDENYEARSRX.com to join our free community of seniors who want to stay strong, independent, and full of life. The next video on your screen is even more transformational. It could be the one that would help you move, feel, and live like you're 20 years younger. Go ahead and press play now, and let's bring back the strength and energy you thought was gone. Thank you for watching.